Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, nerds. You're listening to an episode on the Nerdcore podcast feed. If you're feeling generous, please consider pledging to a tier on our Patreon at patreon.com/thenerdcore. We have tiers as low as $1 per month. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode.
Hey everyone, before we can get into today's episode, I need to talk to you all about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast and is the platform I've been using for over 2 years. Anchor is easy because it's free, includes creation tools on your tablet or phone from the get-go, rewards creators with sponsorships with no minimum listenership, and best of all, they distribute your podcast to places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. So if you want to make a podcast, you should download the Anchor app or visit anchor.fm. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerdy Chicano show on all platforms that podcasts are found. Remember, you can get this episode a day early if you subscribe to the Patreon at www.patreon.com/nerdcorps by choosing the $1 tier a month. That means you pay just $1 a month to us, and you get shows like the Nerdy Chicano show and the Gamer Core show a day early. So, this is a very special episode. This is episode 8. I am joined by my co-host Luis in spirit because he's not here, but you will hear his review later on. This is the first installment of the Movie Club. The Movie Club is a really cool tier we have on Patreon where you pay $5 a month and you get access to my extensive film library. I recommend a movie a month and we watch it and we review it together on this show. This month's movie was Call Me By Your Name that was released last year. I am joined by two of my awesome patrons. One of them is my cousin, and I'll let them introduce themselves right now. I'm not joined by Ashley. Ashley could not be here, but she did send her review, and I will read that aloud when we are heading to the review section. But I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves first, and I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic. Here you go. You don't have to tell them where you can find you on social media. That'll be like towards the end.
Okay. Hello, my name is Sarah.
You're my cousin.
I'm his cousin. Yes.
Hi, I'm James. I'm Raul's cousin's boyfriend. And actually, I would prefer it if you don't try to find me on social media.
Okay.
All right.
No, everybody, please do.
So, Patreon does this I'm really enjoying what we're doing on Patreon, and you guys like to listen to the episodes. And I'm not going to make you guys tell them what's so awesome about Patreon, but it's pretty cool that you get all these things a day early. You get an episode, a mini episode, right?
I like the mini episodes. They're really
Yeah.
fun to listen to.
Yeah, sadly, Brad's always talking about his string cheese predicament. that string cheese is gone as shit. But,
Like, what the hell?
yeah. Yeah, no, it's really moldy. If you follow him on Instagram, he put it on his story, and it was really, really ugly. It looked really bad, really bad. But yeah, we're here to talk about Call Me By Your Name. And before I do start the review of this, I do need to put it out there. This review is spoiler. There is spoilers. So if you are listening to this and you have not watched Call Me By Your Name, I'm sorry, Cassie. By the way, shout out to Cassie. She is producing this show, actually. She's, yeah. You can find Cassie on Instagram at Cassass. You can find, yeah. Yeah, it's with 4 S's, Cassass with 4 S's. She's helping us keep time, which is basically what producers do sometimes. You know, they keep time when it comes to this thing. So yeah, if you are listening to this beyond this point, that means you will listen to spoilers. So if you have not watched Call Me By Your Name, I need you to click off. We really do appreciate the listen, but I will not be the one who spoils this movie for you. So I'm going to go ahead and go in 3, 2, 1. All right, spoilers in effect. I'm going to introduce the movie right now. So, Call Me by Your Name came out last year. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, I believe, too. But I will read those awards right now. Let me go ahead and give you the writers and all that stuff. So it was directed by Luca Guadagnino. It also produced by a bunch of people. I'm not gonna read. Screenplay by James Ivory. It is based on the book Call Me by Your Name by Andre Asiman. I don't know how to say that. And it's the cast is Arnie Hammer, Timothy Chalamet, Michael Stuhlbarg, Amira Kassar, Esther Garel, Victor Dubois, and cinematography by, I am not reading that. Okay. Sayambu Mukdipram, I think that's how you say it. Distributed by Sony Pictures Classics and Warner Brothers Pictures in Italy. The movie was premiered at Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2017. Released in the United States on November 24th, 2017. And its international releases was in January of 2018 and February 2018. The movie sits at 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's a long one. Yeah, it's a long one. It's also played in English, Italian, and French. I know I got to go over this stuff. It's kind of boring. We'll get into the meat and bones of the review right now. Yeah, Peachey stuff, yeah. So the budget was $3.5 million. And it made $41.7 million at the box office, internationally. Yeah.
Do you have the breakdown for each country?
No, I'm going to guess that the United States was the bigger. Yeah. So, let me give you the what's it called? The reception, the awards, because that's what I am very interested in. I want to see what everything it was nominated for. Let me see. So, yeah, I got to go down here. Oh my God, it got a lot of awards. Oy. Okay, so at the Academy Awards, it was nominated for Best Picture. Obviously, it lost to The Shape of Water. It was Timothy Chalamet was nominated for Best Actor. Obviously, he lost to Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. The film was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, which it won, and Best Original Song for Mystery of Love by Sufjan Stevens was nominated. It did not win. It lost to Coco. Remember Me? Yeah, it won, and it also that's it. So I want to go ahead and get your initial thoughts. Don't give away like the whole thing what you enjoyed about it, but go ahead and give your initial thoughts. And when you give it back to me, I'll say it. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Sarah.
I thought the movie was really sweet, and it was very first love kind of thing, and it was just so sad at the end, and I hate sad endings, so I'm just gonna not love it, but I love it.
All right. I'm not really sure how short I should keep this. This is actually my first time. All right. Well, I really liked it. I thought at first, I was talking to Raul about it earlier, that I kind of felt like I was intruding in something that's very intimate, you know. So at first it was kind of difficult to get into the movie, but eventually I was really interested in what was going on. It was almost like I was vested in these guys' relationships. But I really liked it.
No, we give the rating at the end. It's out of 10, actually. Yeah.
That's a perfect score.
That's a different rating system is different.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We don't do out of 5 stars, okay? We do out of 10 on the numbered scale. All of this movie, when I watched it the first time, I actually watched it in school. That was a very bad idea. Because they do not hold back with the sex in this movie. It's dude on girl, and it is all over the place like an episode of Game of Thrones. So, but it's very well structured in the way that I love everything about this movie. It's the story, the characters, the music, the piano pieces you listen to in this movie. Very, very attractive in the sense that I wanted to just get into a piano. I wanted to start playing these songs, even though I don't know shit about piano.
Did you know that he actually learned piano in a specific movie?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's awesome. Because I mean, yeah, those piano pieces are so beautiful, and then you have the music by Sir John Stevens that really kind of gives you that very like indie vibe to the movie, and it does look like an independent film, but more of an old film, and that's what you were telling me about. Like it felt.
So you were mentioning something about the grayscale or something like that.
No, like just the grading, the color grading.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not too well versed in filmmaking and stuff like that, but I was telling Raul earlier that I look at the movie and I feel like if I were to Google these actors, I would see them show up as 50-year-old men, because it seems like the movie, it's set in the 80s. It seems like it was shot in the 80s. So I mean, I really like that aspect of it, and it's such a. I'm sure it's not. People put a lot of thought into that, but it's something that's almost imperceptible to a lot of people. But if you take the time to actually think about it, it's a really, really integral part of the movie, and it's one of the things I enjoyed.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I love that part. I mean, like the aesthetic of the film looks really, really good, and yeah, So I really do enjoy that part, James, that you're telling me about, and I really do want to hold on, and I want to, Cassie, you might just want to move the mouse pad. No, not the mouse. The mouse isn't even connected. Yeah. So the movie takes place in southern Italy in the late 80s, I want to say, or early 80s. It's around there. It stars Timothée Chalamet playing Elio, a 17-year-old boy that goes to southern Italy with his parents. That his father works in, I'm not even sure what he works in, but he hires a grad student to do some side-by-side work with him, and his name is Oliver. Oliver is 24, and throughout this time, Oliver and Elio develop a relationship that is very, very intimate, very close, and very, very beautiful. Very beautiful in the sense that I really loved the chemistry between them. Sadly, it doesn't go that way through the end. There is inevitable heartbreak that does happen with this couple, and it's really sad to see it play out on screen. Yeah. So I want to get your taste on, not taste. I want to get your thoughts on the performances.
So, I mean, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And speaking of chemistry, I can only imagine how difficult it must be for two heterosexual men to, act as if they were in love. So I was watching this interview that they both had with Ellen DeGeneres, and if you guys want to go look at it on YouTube, so they were talking about how the director got them to sort of break the ice. So basically, it's the first rehearsal, and then they were like, oh, okay, let's do whatever, scene 71. And they flipped to scene 71, and it's a makeout scene. And it's it's basically the first time, they've ever worked together. And Timothy and our Army Hammer are just, okay, I guess we got to, all right, let's do it. So they start making out, obviously, and then the director's like, no, I want you to make out like you guys mean it. And Army Hammer says, oh yeah, definitely, that's good direction, that's what we should do. And then they said, they kept making out, and they kept making out, and they kept making out, and eventually they look up, and the director had already left. So then they said that was after that the ice was completely broken. And anyway, you can tell I like how Sarah was talking about how she hated sad endings, but I looked at them outside of the film, and their chemistry just on screen and off is just, it's amazing. I feel like that movie couldn't have been cast any better.
Yeah, it couldn't have been cast any better. I think they needed that very young boy to get, like, you look at Timothy, you don't even know that he's 20. He looks 17. And when you think about the chemistry in those performances, one scene that always sticks out to me is when he says goodbye to Oliver, and he is like at the point of breaking down so hard on that phone when he's calling his mom to come pick him up. And you just feel so sad for him. Like, he's breaking apart, and the way back when you see him in the car with his mom, it's very special when you can convey so much emotion without even speaking a word. Mm-hmm. And he does it throughout that whole car ride. And it's very, very much indeed shows the talent of what what Timothy was able to do in this movie. And Arnie Hammer does it too. He plays off the mature, experienced man very well.
As far as mature goes,
Yeah.
I mean, according to the movie, he's 24.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah. I mean, but he does play the very experienced man. It did feel like, it wasn't his first time being with a man.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Michael Stuhlbarg was also really good playing the dad and the mom too. Eric makes this joke all the time. Do you know when he gets the nosebleed and he goes inside and he asks the nanny where the ice is? She tells him it's in the fridge, and he goes to the fridge, and there's no ice in there. And Harry's always like, he goes, Marambra, where's the fridge? Where's the ice? He goes, oh, it's in the fridge. And he goes to the fridge, and there's nothing in there, and he has to go all the way back. And it's a stupid joke, and it doesn't even make sense as to why it's funny. But it's like, there's very much indeed like some instances of comedy in the movie. But most of the things you get out of this movie is very much about the relationship that they're having and just how in love it feels. And sadly, when that love ends, it shows you the sadness part of this movie. And Elio didn't know that he could have feelings for a man. And I think that time he had sex with his I can't remember her name. I think that was to make sure if he could still have feelings for a woman. And I think he found out there that he was probably bisexual. And he this new relationship was his way of exploring his sexuality. Yeah. And that movie is so much about sexuality. Here, you have any thoughts on anything else? You're talking about the camera work.
No, yeah. So I mean, aside from the camera work and aside from, I just I like how genuine it was. How not only did he look young, but his actions were very, I wouldn't say juvenile, but they're of a teenager. Like the things he does, like where he talks about his sexual relations with another woman in front of Oliver, just to see how basically what he's gonna do, right? See that stuff like that's high school stuff, right?
Or when he tells her about the girl that Oliver was starting to see, how he saw her naked before. How she had a really nice body, and how you wouldn't be able to tell that she had a nice body because how she looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious that he's not saying these things to be, spiteful or trying to be like, oh, look at me, like he's trying to gauge, he's trying to see how Oliver's going to react to it because he's from, obviously this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I feel like he's just trying to see what's going to go on. He's trying to see how Oliver will react to see how he himself should react. And like I said, I just like that the little subtleties like that kind of, just reinforce the fact that this is basically a young man going through his life's journey. Like just going through his journey to find out what he himself is all about. Yeah. And I like that, like I said in the beginning, it felt really intimate. Like when I was watching it, it felt almost wrong because I was like, oh, I'm intruding on these people's private lives. Like on Elio's life, I'm intruding in it. And I feel like I shouldn't be watching this because, this is his journey. He's finding himself, right?
His coming of age story.
Exactly.
And it's his first real heartbreak. You can tell. It's his first real heartbreak. And I mean, like you could tell by that end scene. That end scene is so sad. When Elio calls him and he tells him that he's getting married, and he basically stands in front of the fireplace. The way that it was actually described, it was that the camera was right in front of the fireplace. The director was nowhere near, and it was just filming him just crying in front of the fireplace. And it's so powerful. I have Sarah back now. I want her to give me a little bit more thoughts on what you thought. We discussed, the performances, how the movie looks. I wanted to ask you, when you watched the movie, did you want to be in Italy when you saw it?
Yes, I did. It just looks so pretty, and it's also like romanticized, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
So
Definitely.
It's like it just makes you want to be there for a summer with your professor's kid.
Wow. That's very eye-opening. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely, but I feel like you can let yourself get taken away by those scenes, because obviously there's not going to be, when you go to a certain place, it's not always going to be streams and stuff where you can play in, and beautiful homes with pianos in them that you can just play. Like, obviously, that's part of the movies that not that realistic, but kind of let yourself get taken away by the fantasy of it all, and that to me is what made it seem so foreign, because if they're just going to show those parts, then yeah, definitely like, whoa, wow, this is a land I've never seen a place like this before, where everything is just nice and very, it has a very classical feel to it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read Ashley's review now. We'll be heading into the final part. We give our final thoughts and we give our final verdict. A number on the scale from 1 to 10, what you like. You could do half scores, quarter, 3/4, doesn't matter. All right, so let me read Ashley's review. So, Ashley said, Call Me By Your Name is a gorgeous adaptation of Andre Aciman's 2007 novel. Its whimsical soundtrack with 2 originals by Sufjan Stevens helps set the ambience of 2 men falling for each other in 1983 Italy. I was very drawn in by this movie, not just because of the subject, but by the attention to detail on Elio Perlman, played by Timothée Chalamet, and Oliver's budding relationship, or lack of one. This movie does a great job of putting you into the heads of these characters and their feelings from their somewhat uncomfortable beginning and Elio's budding infatuation with Oliver to something more. I thought Timothée Chalamet was amazing and captured Elio very well. You feel for him, and you're often wondering with him what's up with Oliver. Oliver is an enigma, something not to figure out right away upon meeting him as his father's graduate student. My only complaint with the acting is actually the casting of Armie Hammer. Although Armie Hammer is a tall dreamboat and a star in his own with some great performances, he seems a little too old for the role of Oliver. Oliver is supposed to be a college grad in his mid-20s, but Armie Hammer looks a bit older, and it makes Oliver and Elio's relationship feel a little bit more weird in matters of their age gap than it should. There is supposed to be an age and milestone difference. I just found it a little distracting at times because it feels like it distracts you from the performance and story. The cinematography definitely helps focus on the 2 star-crossed lovers and what they're doing and feeling. By shooting entirely with one lens, cinematographer, I'm not going to repeat his name, pulls his weight and makes you feel like you're right there, and the focus is on the cast and the performance, not on the location. Although 1983 Italy is gorgeous, he knows what to focus on, where it is needed, but does it in a way where you can still see and feel calm, serene in Italy. There are bright greens, lots of color in Elio and Oliver's world. Their soundtrack helps bring this to life. It pulls you into the architecture and the beauty of Italy while still keeping you focused on rooting for Elio's happiness. By the end of the movie, you're gonna need a break for all these feels. I give Luca Guadagnino's film adaptation of Call Me By Your Name an 8.5 out of 10 for its wonderful direction of a film adaptation of a book, the ambiance, single lens shooting, and Timothée Chalamet's performance. Ashley, you told me you're not good at film reviews. I swear to God, I just read something on the internet from this. Like, you're really good at film reviews. Yeah. You can disagree with that. I kind of see where she is coming from. He did look a little bit too old.
Especially because I'm just crushed out.
Yeah, I know. Armie Hammer's really. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, they had to edit his balls off for this movie. Yeah, so his ball slipped out once in a malfunction on set, so they had to edit that out.
I promise you. Did you know how much it costs to edit out Henry Cavill's mustache?
25 mil.
25 mil, right? I bet you that 3.5 mil, at least $1 million of it is just from balls.
Balls.
Everybody has to look at the ball.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to you guys. Give your final thoughts, what you liked about it, what you didn't, and then give your review out of 10. I wish Cassie could be in this, but she, Cassie, all you got to do is go to www.patreon.com/nerdcorpse.
So my final thoughts, I think it's a great movie, and it's very much about like a first love. Yeah, and first heartbreak as well. The ending is just the saddest thing ever. I hate sad endings, so my fake rating is 5 out of 7, but since Raul won't let me do that, I'll give it, 3.5 out out of 5.
You're doing out of 10, damn it.
Oh my God, whatever. Then a 7 out of 10. There you go.
Okay, cool.
I thought he said 5.
No, out of 10.
It's all right, guys.
You can edit that out.
Math is
No, I didn't edit anything out.
math is hard.
Math is really hard.
Yeah. Anyway, so first off, I just wanted to say that about the social media thing, I didn't need you guys to follow me because nothing on my social media is movie or video game related, so it's pretty irrelevant. So as far as the movie goes, no, I like I said at first, I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it. Raul's actually been bugging me to watch this for it's been like a month, and once I finally got into it, it's like I couldn't stop watching. Yeah. It was just everything was well put together. I feel like if I could describe it, kind of standoffishly, everything was well put together, and man, and that ending scene, like Sarah was saying, the fact that they kind of had the credits roll and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a roll, but they showed the credits while he was just and
and the plates are being set. It's showing you that that Elio has to go through this alone.
Yeah.
There's nobody else to go through it with him, and it's only focused on him because he has to go through this heartbreak.
Yeah.
The fact that everybody else also knows that they did have a thing together, but it's just you have to go through it alone because it's basically your feelings.
Yeah, and as far as alone goes, as rare as this is, his parents were pretty damn supportive, right? Like his dad, one of the most understanding dads I've ever met. Yeah. Right? Now me and my dad have a close relationship, but not like that. And I'm sure it comes off the fact that his dad's supposed to be an intellectual. He's a professor, right? So he is about understanding. Yeah. Right? So I just like how well put together this movie was. And I'm sorry if I was pretty repetitive, but I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. Right? I feel like as far as pacing goes, I don't really know. I'm not used to movies like this so much. I pretty much only watch them whenever Raul suggests one. So, or Sarah makes me watch them, but I end up enjoying them a lot. So I'm gonna give it a, what did I say? 8 out of 10. All right, or a 4 out of 5, right? Or a 5 out of 7. All right. Here you go, Raul.
I love this movie. I go back and rewatch it as much as I can because I want to pick up on those little minor technical details that I love to appreciate. The peach scene, god damn the peach scene. That is some crazy. We're just talking about how very sexually attracted they are to each other, and it radiates by every single movement they make. And one thing I forgot to point out was when they had that first kiss. I said, where this is building towards the first sexual interaction, when they first have sex. And I was waiting for them, God damn it, have sex already. Like, you guys are, very much, there's very high, steamy attraction towards each other. I love everything about the film. The cinematography, the music, the sound. God damn, the sound. It's like you put the damn microphone right next to the peach or right next to the crotch, man. Come on.
And I just want to say, those scenes were artful. They were not. Yeah. They were not they weren't sex scenes just for the. They weren't sex scenes just for the sake of having a sex scene on there. They were artful. This is really specific here, but the fact that when he was playing with a peach and he was just the whole thing was just dripping on him, that was pretty artful. It wasn't just, they weren't just being gross, basically.
And erotic. It
was I mean, it was, and, not I feel like there's very few movies that can pull that off really well.
That's one thing that I always point out with movies that have sex scenes is sometimes it just feels to present the sex. There's not some that there's no build up.
There's no tension presented.
Yeah, it's just it leads up to nothing, and it just feels like you're having sex just to have sex. But when it does it well and it presents it in a very sensual, very beautiful way and non-erotic, it feels special, and that's what this movie really does. It's really special. The only gripe I do have after rewatching it 3 times, the length does get to me. I do love the unconventional camera angles, but I don't understand why you had to keep one shot going when they're already out of frame. That one bicycle part where he's filming him just going like that, and he's coming already to the way back. I think that's a little bit too much. I think that's like, you could have cut that out already. Like, it feels...
I think it's because you watched it 3 times.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The third time, you're
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
For me, I was like... For me, the parts like that were dragged on, it's kind of accurate, because there's sometimes in life when you feel that kind of love where you feel like you're waiting. You feel like you're just waiting for something to happen. Do you make a move? I'm here. You know what I mean? So that, I feel like stuff like that, it portrays that feeling really well, right? Like it's symbolic of that, let's say, right? And that's what I was saying about the weird pacing as well. Like I didn't know if I meant length or anything like that. I just knew that it was different. I just couldn't put my finger on it. But you said it pretty well.
So I'm going to agree with James. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. If I would have seen this last year, it would have definitely been on my top 10. It would have kicked out a couple movies like Star Wars Last Jedi. Shape of Water would have still been my number 1 if I would have watched it last year. But yeah, that was the review. I'm going to go ahead and give you Luis's review now. He recorded it early, so I'm going to give you the review now. All right, Luis.
Yes.
Luis.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You just finished watching Call Me By Your Name.
What's that? I'm sorry?
You just finished watching Call Me By Your Name, right?
Yeah, literally like 10 minutes ago.
All right. Now, because it's movie month, it's a movie club.
It's the movie club review.
Yeah, it's the movie club review. You got to tell me your thoughts, man. I want to hear, first of all, what you think about the performances.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for the code that I didn't have to, buy it.
No, of course,
so
bro.
thank you for that. Second, do you want me to give an opinion on the performance first or, my overall review of the movie?
I guess you can go overall first, and then you tell me, what aspects you like the most.
Okay, so for me, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was interesting. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit because I do have a lot of opinions on this movie, and I guess I'll go on the performance as well. First of all, the performance-wise, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
But I did feel like when I was watching this movie, I did see 2 straight guys pretending to be gay. I don't know, dude. I feel like sometimes you just know who, I don't know, is gay versus someone pretending to be gay, and I didn't feel convinced that they truly, I don't know, and then maybe that's me that, I don't know many well, I do know. Yeah, I do know. No, I do. The performances wasn't as good as I expected it to be. I thought they were just gonna. I thought the chemistry was going to be a little bit better, and I know a lot of people have different opinions and say that actually Armie Hammer and Timothy, I forgot his last name,
Chalamet,
had really good chemistry. But for me, I just didn't see it. I felt like I was just watching 2 straight actors. Making out, and I saw that when they were kissing and holding hands and everything. I felt like it was very uniform. It was very
you didn't believe it.
I didn't believe it. I was just oh, okay, I get it. I'm watching a movie and that's all I'm watching it for.
Yeah.
Now,
so they didn't break that barrier for you. You couldn't actually believe that they were together.
No, dude. I know that Timothy guy is a fucking, womanizer. He's got women on, women lining up to meet him and stuff. And so is Armie Hammer. Maybe just because I've seen his other work, both of their other works, and I guess I just don't believe it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's my opinion on the performance. They were okay, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe them to be,
Yeah. No, I
from
get
that.
you. I get you. You know that my thoughts are different, but yeah, no. At least you enjoyed. I mean, who do you think kind of stood out though? Like, which performance you think you actually didn't expect to like, but you liked it?
Didn't expect to like.
Yeah.
Well, I liked Army Hammer's performance
Yeah.
because obviously he's a more what's the word to use? More experienced actor, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, in terms of like he knows how to act and he knows his different tones and moods, and I felt like I saw a little bit more out of him than I did of Timothy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in terms of like the actual plot of the movie, I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was like
Yeah.
really interesting. I would have though enjoyed it more if I didn't see this big age gap because
Oh
I
yeah.
usually don't really care about the age gap between people that that love each other. But when it's like this 16-year-old, I think, right, or something like that, and this like
Yeah.
24-year-old,
17.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's too much of a difference for me not to notice it. Like obviously, this guy, this older gentleman, is in college. He graduated from college. He's probably a PhD candidate. So he's been around.
Mm-hmm.
Versus this kid, like, and throughout the movie you see and you get reminded that he is just a kid
Yeah.
because because of like I'm sorry, give me a second. Yeah, because of the attitude he has. Like
Yeah.
he's a child. Like he is a teenager. Like he um likes to do his own things, likes to be isolated, listen to his own music, like very teenager-ish. Like we don't,
Yeah.
we've all experienced it, bro. Like we've been
Yeah.
teenagers before, and so you can tell what a teenager is, and I felt like I don't know, like I felt
But
like he
I
was a
mean, this was.
child, and like I don't know, I felt a big age gap between
Yeah.
both of the movies. Like I have such contradicting opinions on this movie. Like I liked it, I loved it actually, but like there was just like some things that just like didn't make sense to me, or I just
Yeah.
didn't think that I don't know, maybe it was appropriate, like
Yeah.
the age difference thing.
I think they put the age difference to like reinforce the idea that this is really a coming of age movie because he learns from it. You know, he
Yeah.
experiences his real first heartbreak.
Yeah, I know, but like I just felt like I don't know, bro. Like
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you.
I'm just not down for that. Like I'm just not down for like someone that much older. Like
Yeah.
like this what's her name? Fucking the other girl's name? The one he had an also like I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a love interest or a fling or I'm not too sure what.
I think he used her to reinforce the idea like, am I fully straight or am I fully gay? And I think he kind of realized that he was bisexual because he still enjoyed having
Being
sex
with her, yeah.
with her. And at the end, they stayed friends, and that's really all he wanted. And like, 'cause you can tell Timothy's character is 100% a womanizer. Like, yeah, he gets girls.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this guy, like you ain't fooling me. I ain't seen no fucking like I know I don't know, dude. Like I don't know. It's just like this movie is so it's one of the it's one of those movies where it really confuses me whether I really like it or I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's such a good movie, but it's such a
What about the setting, dude?
dude, the setting, dude. I felt like I was living when I was watching that. Like when I was watching the movie, like up to the. I'm sorry, I can hear my echo.
Yeah,
Can you take that out?
that's delay. That's delay. Sadly, it happens to Brad too.
That's
so
delay.
It's normal.
Okay. I'm trying to concentrate on my own voice.
Yeah,
Hold on.
Brad's gonna listen to this and gonna be like, "You finally know what I feel like."
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, you finally you felt like you wanted to live in Italy, right?
Right, like I was saying, everything from the music to like pretty much. I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm gonna mute myself. I can't hear myself anymore. I'm just gonna do my thing. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, I felt like the setting was perfect.
Yeah.
Like when they were sitting on the grass.
Mm-hmm.
I know they did some like outside shots of like flies and like certain mosquitoes and insects, and it really gave you a sense of like while you're outside, you're experiencing it with them, you know, as they're sunbathing in the summer sun, and I really liked like the set, like it was just a really cool setting, and it got you into a perspective like of the Italians, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was based off of North Italy, right, or something like that.
No, not North. I think it's South actually.
Yeah,
Italy,
and
yeah. And it's in the mid '80s.
and I thought it was in the mid '80s. And I thought it was really interesting. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah, so I mean, at least the scenery was attractive to you.
Yeah, it was beautiful. No. Like, look, the whole movie was freaking great. But maybe if I switched out, I don't know, like one of the actors, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, the one person that really stood out to me.
It would have done it for me. It would have been like a top 20 movie. Like I really liked the story. I just didn't like the.
Where would it have ranked in 2017 with your movies? If you would have watched this back in last year, where would it have ranked in those movies?
Right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Probably not my top 10 at all.
Not even make it to your top 10?
No, bro. Honestly, nah. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just interesting. Like I'm saying, it's an interesting story. It's just I couldn't get with it.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole movie, and I didn't even skip around. I didn't do anything. I watched the whole movie start to beginning.
Yeah.
Didn't get on my phone. I just watched it from start to beginning.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was a little bit too long sometimes too.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you there. I think there was
some drag a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's just my opinion probably sucks right now.
No, I understand it because remember
I literally just finished watching that.
Yeah, and it's fine. I mean, like I get it. I get your gripe with it, and it's not saying that we don't enjoy movies like this because you and I are big fans of The Danish Girl.
Oh yeah, big time, dude.
We love that movie, and those are two performances that work so well with each other, and it is an LGBTQ movie. So you know, it's just maybe the actors just don't work well with this one for you. But like with The Danish Girl, we love that movie.
Yeah, like on their own, the actors themselves, they're great. You know, we saw Amory Hammer in the last movie. In the Sorry to Bother You movie, and it was great. Remember?
Oh yeah.
And
Black K Klansman as well, right?
Yeah. No, not the Klansman. Was he?
I think so, dude.
No. It was just in Sorry to Bother You. He was playing that really rich guy into cocaine a lot. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Makes horse shit. Whatever. But I don't know, man. Like I enjoyed the movie. I just have really conflicting views on this one. I can't give you an honest, like, concrete. Yes, I liked it, nor I liked it. I guess I'm gonna let it marinate in my brain for a little bit for the rest of the night, and then like I'll get back to you and I'll be like, I really don't like it. I don't know.
All right. So yeah. So I mean,
I don't know, bro. I'm
where is it sitting right now? What number is it sitting at?
Oh, okay. I like the set.
The music and
overall as a cinematic masterpiece, I think it sits like at an 8.5.
Yeah.
Like cinematography wise, shots, just the environment. I thought it was great. Like an 8.5, almost a 9.
So like all the technical stuff, like it's really high, but you just don't know about the performances and the story.
I can't give you an opinion. Like I literally can't.
All right. Well, no, I get
maybe. All right. Look, you know what? I am gonna give you an answer. I'm gonna give you an answer. As of right now, 7.5.
7.5? Okay, I can take that.
7.5. Yeah.
I can take that. Yeah.
As of right now, I'll tell you if it goes lower or higher.
Well, you'll have to update us on the next episode.
Yeah, I will. I'll let it marinate in my brain for a little bit, and then I'll get back to you on that answer.
Yeah. We had to record this early, so you guys, sorry. Luis had something to do, and
Hi, my name is Brad now.
at least I didn't say the germ show this time. But yeah, no, we had to record this early, so that's his thoughts on it, and we are gonna get back to the regular review. All right, you listened to the review from Luis and his thoughts about it. So thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for listening to this review. We have next month when we're going to have the same guests because they're going to stay patrons and they will help us review September's movie. I don't know what September's movie is. Luis has to decide on it, so I can't give you a sneak peek. But I can tell you that Luis does have a very different taste from me. So you might not get something beautiful like this. You might just get some weird sci-fi stuff. No, it's not Shrek. So thank you for listening. Please leave a rating and review on this podcast if you did enjoy it. You know, we enjoyed the feedback. Enjoy the feedback. We are 3 reviews away from getting double digits on iTunes. So if you guys could help us reach that'd be really nice. Go ahead and tweet us at the NerdCorps_, and go look at our Instagram profile on the Nerd Corps. And also go to Facebook. We are now on Facebook at the Nerd Corps Pod. Nerd Corps Pods on Facebook. You can go look at our page. We're barely going to start building it. It's going to be really fun. We can do all cool stuff on there. Also, make sure you go to www.patreon.com/nerdcorps. Subscribe to the $1 tier, and you can get this episode early. And if you want to be gracious and go to the $5 tier, you can also join this movie club. And you're going to get to do these things with us every single month when we review these movies. So thank you for listening, guys. We really do appreciate it. And thank you to our lovely patrons who are here sitting next to me. Patrons, patrons, we don't care. We say it, patrons. We very much indeed support. We very much appreciate the support. It means a lot to us. Brad always is saying how it's really nice how we have people who want to pay us to do content. So, you know, that's really the dream. It's really the dream. So thank you for listening, guys. We will be back next week when we review another movie and we talk about Latino representation in film. That almost fell off. So thank you guys for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode next week. This is your nerd Chicano signing off. See you guys.